Okay, multiplying polynomials. Remember, multiply the numbers, add the exponents of the common bases, or the same bases. Okay, for most of these, not all of them, but for most of these, I'm going to show you the vertical method, but there are other methods. But this one seems to work the best for the most people. Now, when multiplying, multiply the numbers. So 3 times 2 gives us 6. Add the exponents of common bases. That has an exponent of 1 and an exponent of 1. So 1 plus 1 gives us x to the 2. Now, this is basically the same thing. The only thing is you have to distribute this. So x times 1 is, or 7 times 1 is 7. And then x to the 1 times x squared. 1 plus 2 is 3. This is a plus. And then 7 times 2 is 14. X to the 1 times x to the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. This shows you a minus. 7 times 4 is 28. X to the 1 times x to the 0, technically. So it's just x to the 1, or x. Now here, m plus 4. Notice I'm not using an x as my time sign. Now, and hang on to this for a second. I want to show you something. If I have 23 times 13, what am I doing? I'm taking 3 times 3, which is 9, and I'm timesing these. And then I'm taking 3 times 2, which is 6. Then I'm done with that one. So I'm going to take 1 times 3, and notice I'm scooching. 1 times 3 is 3. And then 1 times 2 is 2. And then I add up my columns. Well, guess what? You're doing exactly the same thing here, except it's a little bit easier because there's no carrying at all. So a positive 6 times a positive 4 is a positive 24. Positive 6 times positive m is 6m. Then we scooch. So I've done this one times this times this, this times this. So I'm done with my 6. Now I take m times 4 is plus 4m, and m times m is m squared. And then I add up my columns. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing here. 3z plus 2 times 2z minus 5. Negative times positive is negative. 5 times 2 is 10. Negative times positive is negative. 5 times 3z is 15z. Scooch. 2z times 2 is plus 4z. And 2z times 3z. 2 times 3 is 6. Z times z is z squared. So 6z squared. And then, you owe more than you have, so you still owe. 15 minus 4 is 11. So 6z squared minus 11z minus 10. Now what happens when you've got the same thing squared? Well, just like if I had 3 squared, it's 3 times 3. So then I get 2x times 2 as 2x plus y times 2x plus y. Positive y times positive y is positive y squared. Y times 2x is 2xy. When you've got more than one variable, you put them in alphabetical order. So it doesn't matter if I have y times x or x times y. I still put xy. Then I scooch, and 2x times positive y is plus 2xy, and 2x times 2x is 4x squared. So 4x squared plus 4xy plus y squared. Again, when I'm counting horses, I count them. Only when I times do I genetically alter. Now, when you've got a problem like this, and this one is a horrible, horrible problem, you want to start kind of in the middle of your page, because this is going to be very long. 3x squared plus 2x minus 7, and I might not have left enough space. I hope I have, but I'm not sure. Positive 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Positive 3 times positive 2x is positive 6x. Positive 3 times 3x squared is positive 9x squared. Scooch. Negative 1x times negative 7 is positive 7x. Negative 1x times positive 2x's is minus 2x squared. Negative x times 3x squared is negative 3x to the third. Then you scooch. See why I said you need a lot of room, and this one can get really ugly. Positive 5x squared times negative 7 is negative 35x squared. Positive 5x squared times 2x is positive 10x cubed. 5x squared times 3x squared is 15x to the 4. And if I've gone too fast, then I want you to make sure you understand it, and if you don't, ask questions. We'll be glad to go back over it. So 9 minus 2 minus 35 gives us negative 28 x squared, and 10 minus 3 gives us positive 7x cubed, and 15x to the 4. Now, is this a big fat ugly problem? Yeah. But is it hard? Not so much, but it's a lot to keep together. That's what's hard, is that there's so much to keep together on this problem. Now your perimeter on this is nice. Okay, this is 2x minus 5 because this one is, and this is 2x plus 5 because that one is. So perimeter, you just add them up. So 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. X plus 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5. So that's 10 minus 10. So chop, 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 chop. And then 2x plus 2x plus 2x plus 2x gives us 8x's. And in my math lab, you'll need to, they show parentheses. You may not have to put them, but you do need to realize that when there's more than one number, then you have to put parentheses around it. Now, for your area, remember your area is your length times your width. So I take 2x minus 5 times 2x plus 5. Positive 5 times negative 5 is minus 25. Positive 5 times 2x is plus 10x. 2x times negative 5 is minus 10x, and 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Uh-oh, he who had it gave it all away. So we end up with only 2 pieces. And this is the only time when you're going to get that situation happening, is when you've got the exact same values except one has a plus in the middle and one has a minus in the middle. Then what you can do is you can shortcut this one. So the area here would be 2x times 2x minus 5 times 5. You can shortcut this one because of this property right here. Because one's a plus and one's a minus, these end up opposite sides, so that middle piece drops out. But notice when there's 2 pieces in the same sign in the middle, you end up with 3, always, always, and forever. Just like with number E right here, okay? Same signs for both of these, so you end up with 3 pieces, always, always, and forever. So 4x squared and minus 25. But when there's 2 things times 2 things, and they're exactly the same except the sign in the middle, then you can drop down to 2 pieces. Now, I want to show you a nice little thing here. And I love this shortcut if both contain a 1x or a 1x squared as your first term. And they're, like if one is 1x, the other one has to be 1x. If one is 1x squared, the other has to be 1x squared. So they have to be the same for both. Then there's a shortcut. X times x is x squared. And both of these are positive, so I'm going to put plus 3 plus 5x, and then plus 3 times 5. And that gives us x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, in just a second, I'm going to prove to you that that is correct, alright, by going and doing the longhand. So, x plus 3 times x plus 5. Positive 5 times positive 3 is plus 15. 5 times x is 5x. Scooch. X times 3 is plus 3x. Ooh, so what did I do with the 3 and the 5? I'm going to add them. And x times x is x squared. And what did I do with 3 and the 5 here? I times them. So x squared plus 8x plus 15. So, how sneaky is that shortcut? I love it. So x times x is x squared. And I'm going to use this same shortcut. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. So, positive 1x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Well, guess what? This one looks different, but it's still the same thing. So, x times x is x squared. Negative 7 plus 2 is negative 2. And because I got a x and a y, xy goes in the middle. And then negative 7y times positive 5y is negative 35y squared. Ask questions. Now, we did something like this. This is x minus 2 times x minus 2. So x times x is x squared. Negative 2 minus 2 is negative 4x. And negative 2 times negative 2 is plus 4. And if you don't trust that I'm right, go ahead and do the long multiplication and prove whether or not I'm right. Now, the same idea goes along with this one. X squared times x squared is actually x to the 4th. 1 plus 1 is 2. And I've got to bring this down one time, so x squared. And then 1 times 1 is 1. Alright. Have fun proving me right or wrong.